one of the most useful tools we now can do because we understand where it comes from. It's a tool that I use all the time, even in my non-math life. And it deals with proportions, where I would have maybe a ratio. This is to that as this is to that. And that's a proportion. It's a ratio equaling another ratio. And I could rework this ratio, for example, that if I wanted to multiply both sides by the denominators, then I'm able to go ahead and clear the fractions. I'm left with something that says AD equals BC. Now this might be something you're more familiar with because we have seen this in many of our other classes and so forth. And so it's a great tool to help us compare objects to another to find out what we need to have. So imagine that I live in a community and I have a house that's worth $480,000. And the tax rate for that particular year was $5,760. Up the street within the same taxing district, there's a house that costs $600K. And I'm curious, is that enough information to find out what I would expect their taxes to be? I don't know that, so I would label that as my unknown. So using our proportions here, or the idea of proportions, I can develop a system that helps me understand what X is, or what the unknown is. And I use a language, this is to that, as this is to that. So first of all, this, let's just say, is the taxes, the unknown. This is to $600,000 as this is to that. Now notice my this and that line up. Taxes to property value, taxes to property value. This is to that as this is to that for the other situation. Now from there, I could solve that for X. And what I can do here is I can multiply both sides by 600 to get my X isolated. So X equals 600,000 times 5760 divided by 480,000. Working that through requires the use of my black box here. Bigger numbers, 600,000 times 5760 divided by 4,800 or 480,000 equals 7,200. So I can expect the tax rate to be on the $600,000 house to be $7,200. Now, does that seem reasonable? Well, yes. It's higher than the $480,000 house, so I would expect that to be the case. I don't want to have to pay that, but those are our tax rates. They're based on those assessed values. And proportions and be able to set up a proportion is a wonderful, wonderful tool that we can use to solve some of our modeling problems.